What the heck are tariffs? And why is Trump putting tariffs on all the countries? Tariffs might sound boring, but they've started trade wars, raised prices, and completely changed the way the world does business. Oh, and here's the kicker. They're affecting you right now, whether you're realizing it or not. So let's break it all down. What tariffs are, why they matter, and how they hit your wallet. Alright, so what's a tariff? Basically, when someone from another country wants to sell stuff in our country, our government requires that guy to pay a fee called a tariff. After he pays that fee, he can bring those stuff into our country and sell them. Here is how it works. Let's say a company in Germany wants to sell cars in the US. If there's a 25% tariff on imported cars, the German company has to pay an extra 25% to sell their cars here. But do you think the German car company will pay for that extra 25% and make less money? No sir. To keep making the same amount of money, they can simply pass that extra cost to you, the buyer, so that you can help them pay their tariff. So suddenly, that $10,000 car with a 25% tariff, it's now $12,500. Congrats, you're broke. Okay, so why do governments even bother with tariffs? Turns out there are three main reasons. And yeah, you've probably heard politicians brag about at least one of them. First out, tariffs can protect local businesses and jobs. Imagine this. You're an American steel worker, making high-quality steel like a pro. But then, China starts selling steel to the US at dirt cheap prices. Like so cheap that everyone in America starts buying Chinese steel instead of yours. What happens to your US steel company? Yep, it goes out of business. So the US government steps in, slaps a 200% tariff on imported steel, and suddenly, Chinese steel gets more expensive. Boom! Now American steel is competitive again, and you get to keep your job because Americans are buying locally made steel as it's now the cheaper option. Second, tariffs bring in money for the government. Way back in the 1800s, before income taxes were even a thing, tariffs were one of the main ways governments make money. For example, in the early days of the US, there were tariffs on imported goods like textiles and teas and sugar canes. Every time a ship unloaded goods at the port, the government would collect a nice little chunk of change. Fun fact, in 1790, about 80% of US federal revenue came from tariffs. And finally, tariffs are basically the government's bargaining chip to force other countries to do things their way. Take Trump for example. He put tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, like electronics and furniture, because he felt China wasn't playing fair. The goal? To pressure China into negotiating a better deal for the US. And it kind of worked, because China doesn't want to pay all these big tariffs. They agreed to buy more American products like food and energy, which helped support American farmers and workers. And China also promised to protect ideas and inventions from being stolen. So, how do tariffs affect you? Well, when a tariff gets slapped on something, companies will be like, if we need to pay these tariffs, we'll be making less money. We should charge the buyers more so that we can keep making money. Therefore, companies usually pass that cost on to you. If there's a tariff on imported electronics, guess what? Your shiny new phone just got way more expensive. But it's not just about prices. Tariffs can also hurt industries that rely on global trade. Take American farmers during the US-China trade war. China was like, oh, you're putting tariffs on our stuff? Fine, we'll stop buying your soybeans. American farmers lost one of their biggest customers, so they will produce less soybeans while driving up the prices. This higher soybean prices means higher costs to produce animal feed, like soy-based feed for livestock. And this can lead to higher prices for meat, milk, or other food products that you buy at the store. So are tariffs good or bad? Well, it depends on who you ask. On one hand, they can protect local industries and jobs, which is awesome. But on the other hand, they can raise prices for customers, like you and me, and hurt industries that need exports to survive. Basically, tariffs are like pineapples on pizza. Some people love them, some people hate them, and no one can agree on whether they're a good idea. So there you have it, tariffs in a nutshell. They are a tax on goods that cross borders, and they're a powerful tool for governments. Trump loved them because he thought they would save America, but they also create higher prices and trade conflicts. So what do you think about tariffs? Comment below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.